here talking blended learning and the administrator's role in coaching teachers and staff in student creation. And I'm joined today by a very special group from Simpson Elementary in Simpson County. And I have with us library media specialist Sam Northern, digital learning coach Krista Jackson, and principal Michael Barnum. And I say special guests from Simpson Elementary because you guys just recently brought home an STLP championship for the best K-5 project. So congratulations again. And that was a fantastic project. And I'm glad you're here today to share a little bit with us about that. But there's some pieces to this story that many may not know. And I think they'll be really key as districts and schools and school leaders especially start thinking about how to make student creation a whole school thing versus just a single day or single project thing. So it was a great way for kids to share their learning, and I want you guys to have an opportunity to share. So Sam, I know you were kind of the project lead on this, so to speak. You wouldn't claim to be the lead. You facilitate this project through lots of different people, and the kids played a huge role, obviously. But I'm glad you're here with us. Can you share a little bit about the project for those that haven't seen it yet?
Absolutely. Thanks, Ben. So the project really originated because of a need. We were learning virtually due to the COVID pandemic. We were going to come back to school in some capacity, virtual, hybrid. And so our staff was faced with the question, how do we get students connected to the school? So if you are learning at home remotely, how can the students still be part of this school community, which is very strong, and we wanted to sustain that even during the pandemic learning conditions. So we thought, well, let's get them connected with nature around our school, because we have a beautiful playground with a wooded area right outside. And students in our school who are quite young, first, second, third grade, they might not realize that in those woods, there are red fox, there are possums, raccoons, even bobcats. And so we were able to acquire a trail cam. We had this trail cam. Got this, didn't cost quite much, but we were able to put this out with students before, whenever we had the opportunity to put this out on tree. Mr. Barnum, the principal, helped quite a bit because students were very curious of what animals do live in these woods. And so it was a great way for the students to be able to be part of that, using the technology, asking questions, creating resources on the footage they did find. And so they were able to curate a beautiful Google site that's got footage of deer, it's got footage of all kinds of animals, like I said, the bobcat. And so they were able to create resources for other classrooms. Our STLP project did. They made classroom clues, like little breakout games. They made activity sheets, made posters with diagrams of animals. So, you learn everything from the fox's bushy tail to the pointy ears, and information about how well they can hear and see and smell. And so it really prompted some really cool research projects too. And, it was a fun project, and it started out just meeting a need, but we were able to tie in a lot of curriculum connections to it and get the teachers on board, the music teacher, the district, the admin. And it's been a lot of fun. And actually, we just found out today that our presentation was accepted by the Kentucky Academic Educators Association to present in the fall to their annual conference. So our STLP team will get the chance to present to environmental educators about what they're doing. And so I think it'll be fun that they can put that on their resume, that they gave a professional presentation.
You just like breaking news on this module recording. So I hadn't heard that yet. That's exciting news. Can't wait. Those kids are going to love that. So congratulations again. Thanks for sharing about that project. And anybody who's listening to this is going to quickly pick up. There was district involvement. There was, school leadership involvement, other teachers, other content areas. And that's really, started with solving a problem, meeting a need, and then was tied so tightly to curriculum and instruction. And so that's really one of the major pieces of this project. And so I appreciate you sharing. And so for those who haven't seen it, the STLP website will be in the module resources. So grab that URL, check it out, guys. This project is definitely worth a watch. Even if you're middle school or high school, it's not so much the content of the project that may be of interest, but how they connected all of the people to make it happen. And so that's what the Simpson team has done so well here. So I appreciate you sharing. And so I want to pass it over to Mr. Barnum here for a minute. I know you played a role in this project too. Sam kind of alluded to it. So can you share a little bit about how you got involved into the Trail Cam project?
Absolutely. And first off, it was so much fun to do that because like Mr. Northern said, we had a need. Our kids were in virtual school at that point. So how in the world can we work with our kids? How can we continue to foster learning in ways that are creative, thinking outside the box, and just kind of novelty and variety? And so, we had the trail camera, like Mr. Northern said. We had the woods right here around Simpson Elementary, and so thought, what are we going to find? We have no clue because we are in town, and we figured we'd see possum, raccoons, and things like that, but no way did we think we'd see a bobcat and fox and deer. So a lot of times it was just me going out and trying to find a spot where it looked like, hey, there's some maybe disturbance here. And I'm no hunter. I was like, am I leaving scent on this camera? I don't know. But anyway, so we go out and just find different spots and put the camera up, leave it there for a few days. And it was just so exciting and fun for me as not as an administrator, but just as a learner, and to think, oh man, the kids are going to love this. And to go out and get that footage and, text Mr. Northern or email him. It's like, look what we got. Here's a picture. But it was just a really, really cool thing. And to be excited about the learning process and kind of to be a part of the program with our kids.
Well, that's a great point when it comes to, principals, administrators, library media specialists, digital learning coaches, like continuing to be learners. And I think being learners with students really activates that, that love for them too. So there's a lot to be said about what you did there. And so, and I know that had to be fun, but also too, you played a role in helping, and Sam alluded to it already, talking about how different teachers were connected to this project. And I think there was some coordinated even PLC, work involved in this. And so for other administrators that may be watching or listening to this, is there some things that you could share about how you were able to kind of facilitate, bring that together and coach the staff into making this a whole school thing?
Absolutely. COVID and, taking advantage of a pandemic in a bad situation that we were in is something that we were able to do. And a lot of it came from vertical collaboration through our PLCs. We've had PLCs at Simpson Elementary that were primarily just, lateral, horizontal, going amongst teams. So our first grade teachers meet with first grade, second with second, and so forth. But because we were virtual, and then teachers coming into the building, and we were able to really seek out a way to go vertical with our PLCs, first, second, and third grade, and that's what our building is comprised of. So Mr. Northern and I discussed what that might look like and who we should get involved in these PLCs. So for science and social studies, for those two, Mr. Northern started meeting with those teachers, but we didn't ask specific teachers. We just, cast the net and said, who is motivated, who wants to participate in this? Because in my experience, you want people who are passionate about it, and those people are going to jump through hoops and do so much more than you've ever expected from them. And so that's what Mr. Northern did. He, cast the net, and we had several teachers jump on board and say, hey, I'd love to do this. Because again, we went from being in somewhat of a silo within our grade to really sharing the workload to get a digital platform for all of our students during COVID. And they're meeting on Fridays and going through the NGSS cycle and the standards was really beneficial. So my hats off to our teachers who were excited about the opportunity, to Mr. Northern for walking them through that, Miss Stacy Vaughn as well. And I know they just presented at GREC a couple weeks back over our journey through the social studies piece. But that was really the PLC process, and it was just stepping away and saying, hey, what do you guys need? How can I help you? But their passion really took the project forward.
Absolutely. And, taking advantage of a situation that was thrust upon the school and everybody across the state, and being able to leverage, time and space differently are probably some things that you guys are going to look to do again this upcoming year when things may look a little more what we're used to seeing. And so, and then utilizing some of these strategies again, I think will be key. And speaking of next year, it's a good time. Krista, we haven't heard from you yet. And I know you played a unique role in this from the district level. You're the digital learning coach. You were able to come alongside the school to kind of help this process, you know, from your perspective, but also too, I know this team already a little bit, and I don't think you guys are going to stop. Right. I think this is just a stepping stone, and you guys will use this to reflect and improve. And I think you already have some plans looking toward next year. Are there some pieces of that you think would be beneficial that you could share for some other schools or districts that are thinking about trying to make student creation a whole school thing versus just a one-time thing?
So, of course, as a district, we really like to create the culture of taking chances. And, you know, this past year, our teachers, you know, haven't really had much of a choice. You know, they've had to learn how to create videos and just do things, you know, totally out of what they would normally do. But letting them, you know, create those projects for themselves and then turn around and have their students create projects and videos, and, you know, taking chances with technology and knowing, you know, hey, you have a great support staff around you to, you know, you can't break it. If you break it, we fix it. We're really going to focus on creating the STLP teacher teams and really involving not only your library media, such as Sam, but also your curriculum leaders, you know, Stacy Vaughn at Simpson Elementary, and then classroom teachers. And then as we move up, really involving those related arts teachers, you know, at our middle school, our new computer apps position, you know, them working not only with the art teacher, but working with the speech and drama teacher to create this team that all involves pretty much everybody in the school and having every student kind of contribute to STLP.
And pulling all of those people together, all those resources together, you know, in an effort toward, you know, student creation, allowing students to make and create, to show their learning. And I think this project is a tremendous example of that. And I think, you know, you guys then as a leadership team, being able to take this, having some plans for next year, there's just a lot to learn as a leader in a school like yourself or a district, you know, to be able to take that and then go the next step for kids. And so, guys, I appreciate you being here with us today. You've made some resources available to everybody that we will put in the module resources, so folks can check those out there. But they have all of your names now, so don't be shocked if somebody reaches out with some questions. And I know you guys were really patient with all my questions and things, and so you will be with them too. So thank you so much for being here with us today, guys.